What's up, you guys? In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about a book that I recently read that had a major impact on me, and I want to share with you some of the principles from it and how it can change your life and actually make you really wealthy in the process. Let's dive into it. All right, well, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the show as always. In today's video, I want to talk to you about a book that I recently read called The Go-Giver. This is a book that was recommended to me from a friend of mine that is very successful. He's done very well for himself financially, and he is a great guy, loves the Lord. He recommended this book, and I wanted to go check it out. So I listened to the audiobook. I was traveling to the beach with my family, listened to the audiobook on the way back. It's really short. It's only about a 2-hour listen. It's about a 2 or 3 hour read, depending upon how quickly you read. But one of the best books I've ever read, aka listen to, in regards to building a structure in a life for accomplishing your goals, but also living a life of value to help other people. Obviously, we all have goals. We all have things we want to accomplish, but one of the worst things we can do along the way is just be a butthead, tell everybody to get out of our way while we try to go accomplish our goals, right? There's 5 principles inside of this book that are so valuable when it comes to accomplishing what you want, but also making a massive difference in the lives of other people. And so I want to really quickly hit these main points, but I definitely encourage you to go check out the book. They kind of explain these points through a big giant long story throughout the book, and it's fantastic. So there's 5 laws for stratospheric success is what it's called in the book, and here are those 5 laws. So number 1 is the law of value. And what the law of value states is that your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. So how much more you give in value than you take in payment. So when I think about this, you can think about this in regards to your woodworking business. You can think about this in regards to your relationships. You can think about this in regards to how you help people. If you're always giving more than you take in regards to a relationship, you're going to be extremely valuable in that relationship to everyone else that you're in that relationship with. For example, in your marriage, if you're always seeking to serve her more than she serves you, if you're seeking to love her more than she loves you, you're going to be extremely valuable in her eyes in your relationship. In your business relationships, it's the same way. If you do things genuinely out of the goodness of your heart, that stuff always comes back to you. And so the law of value, your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. Okay, so think about how you can apply that. How can you apply that in your businesses? One of the easiest ways to do this is to not make it a monetary thing. Sometimes it's very hard to give way more in value than you take in payment when you're building goods, right? It's kind of a relatively fair exchange. But one way to do this is to throw in the little intangibles that make a huge difference, that makes your brand stand out. So I like to think about like handwritten notes. I like to think about like, what if you delivered a brand new set of flowers with every table that would go on the centerpiece of their table? That might cost you $20, $30, but it just communicates something huge. What if you did a customized cutting board for all your clients that bought a table from you, right? Those little things that you do are just such treats to your clients and communicate so much more. That's number 1, the law of value. So number 2 is the law of compensation. So what the law of compensation states is that your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. So your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. So if you build 2 tables a month, or you build 20 tables a month, or you build 200 tables a month, that's going to influence your income. So the amount of people that you serve. And then second is how well you serve them. If you do a great job with the 2, you'll eventually get to the 20 and you'll eventually get to the 200. But if you don't serve them well, what happens is you get negative word of mouth. And what that means is that instead of all them telling their friends how great of an experience they had with you, they're telling their friends how negative of an experience they had with you. And instead of maybe getting a referral, you're getting other people that would speak against your brand. But the law of compensation is so important because it helps you think in terms of scale. You know, if you're trying to make $10,000 or $15,000 a month bring home pay, you're going to need to reach a lot of people with whatever service it is that you offer. Or you're going to need to charge a lot of money to the smaller amount of people that you serve or that you offer your services to. Okay, so number 3 is the law of influence. So the law of influence states that your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. And this is a really challenging law of stratospheric success. This is super hard. Do I truly place other people's interests before mine? This is really hard for many of us because we're by nature selfish people, and we want to basically use everybody else to help us accomplish our end goal. That's most people. And so we really have to reframe the way that we think and really focus on the person that I'm talking to or the person that I'm connecting with. What are their interests? What are they desiring? What are they seeking most in this moment? And how can I genuinely help them the most? And if we can reframe our mind around that, number one, we're going to find ourselves so much more joyful. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, but when I'm just like hammering away trying to get to a goal, I feel like I'm constantly frustrated. That's because I'm inwardly focused. I'm focused on what I'm doing, how I'm getting there, what I'm accomplishing. But the more that I focus on serving other people, the more that my life begins to truly change and I find myself more joyful. And what's actually funny about that is that typically when that happens, I end up reaching my goals way faster. It's super weird, but it's an incredible law of stratospheric success, okay? So number 4, the law of authenticity. This law states that the most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. This is kind of why we started this channel on YouTube, to be honest, because we saw lots of people in the marketplace that they were passionate about the woodworking itself. They're going to show you how to build a table. They're going to show you how to build chairs. They're going to show you how to finish stuff. They're going to show you what tools to buy, all these different things, which are all super valuable things. But the thing that I feel like I authentically bring to the table that is most helpful are the business principles and the mindsets behind building a successful business. And so that's what I decided to run with. And here's the truth. I don't have nearly as many subscribers as I would like to have when I look at all the other woodworking people inside of this industry on YouTube that they have, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. It's because they're building stuff. And it's like, well, I could start building stuff, but that's not me. That's not what I want to offer the marketplace. The most valuable thing that you can give other people is the true version of you. Now, this doesn't mean that if you're just naturally a jerk, then you should just be a jerk. Oh, this is the most valuable thing I can give people. No, find the best version of you and give that to people. Don't try to be me. Don't try to be somebody else. Be you as you serve the marketplace. Okay, so number 5, the final principle here is the law of receptivity. This is kind of puts a bow on everything, because what we did through these other 4 principles is we really focused on other people. We really focused on serving other people, making a difference in the lives of other people, giving more than we receive. Number 5, this is how everything tends to come back to you, is the law of receptivity. And what this law states is that the key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. Staying open to receiving is basically when you're saying, God, I have made myself available. I've done the things I can do to make a difference in the lives of the people around me. Lord, I need help in this area of my life. I'm open to receiving anybody or anything that you want to send my way. This is one of those things where you could almost be a little law of attraction-y, a little weird like that. But I like to just think that if you're doing the other 4 principles here, the other 4 laws, then what's going to happen is that things are going to come back to you. When you really treat people well and you make sure that you're giving more than you're taking from them, they're going to speak well of you. They're going to recommend you. And that's going to generate so much more than you can imagine. With that being said, guys, these are the 5 principles from the book. It really spoke dramatically to me. The first 3, in my opinion, are kind of the most powerful. The law of value, your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. Number 2, the law of compensation. This is very mathematical. Your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. And then number 3 is the law of influence, that your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's needs or interests first above your own. And so when you do these 3 things, you're going to build a life that you love. You're watching my channel, or you're subscribed, or you're tuning in because you're trying to get there. Like, you're focusing on a goal. You want to change something about your life. This isn't super woodworking related content today, but I wanted to just encourage you with this because these are the true principles that really open things up for you. Real quick, before we bounce out of here, as always, we've got a couple resources for you below. Number 1, check out the free ebook, Handmade Business Secrets. Number 2, check out the course to get you to $10,000 and beyond inside of your woodworking or your handmade business. That is going to be the Handmade Hero Academy. And number 3, if you're trying to scale to $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 per month inside of your woodworking business, make sure to check out the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. With that being said, love you, appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one.